Hey, good evening, everybody. It's KB5 MIQ Big Boy. We're going to talk about the latest hot subject on the air on Ham Radio this week. Couple little housekeeping things we need to take care of first. Got old Ham Radio cat running around here in the floor. Uh, MTC had a accident this week. Somebody actually run through their building up there, so luckily, nobody was hurt, but y'all keep Richard and Christine Lenore in your prayers that they get their business back going good, and be thankful that nobody was hurt in the process, including the driver. Also, Chris, KL4 Alpha Alpha Bravo, he is still in the hospital. He's had some improvements, but he still needs, y'all still need to keep him in your prayers, along with KV5SIX Vern and K1ENT Kent and his wife for family issues. So y'all remember them good ham radio operators. Hit 982 subscribers and had a really good incident this week. I love to talk to you guys on the air. Alpha Kilo 4 RJ Troy contacted me this week. I was on 10 meters. He heard me, so got to talk to him. He's a subscriber. Had a real good time talking to him, and his dad's working on getting his license. So I hope he has good luck and getting his license and get going there. Troy's good talking to you. Hey, Ham Radio Cat, well, get up here. Well, guys, the new hot topic this last week has been the Shortwave Modernization Coalition group that evidently has been operating under an experimental license for several years, doing high-speed data on the outer edges of the ham frequencies in like 2 to 25 megahertz, that area. Not in the ham bands, but on the outside of it. Doing experimental high-speed data transfer for Wall Street. They have a proposal to them to get that part of the band for that purpose. Hey, Ham Radio Cat, there you go. Get everybody where everybody can see you up there, girl. She's a mess tonight. Anyway, they've prevented their proposal to FCC to get access to that, and for what they're going to do, claiming they've not had any interference complaints at all. So, a lot better videos than what I could say on it on air, because I didn't even know about it till this week. Jeff didn't know about it, and Kent's the one who brought it up. And he said then it was something to do with Wall Street. So, Kent, we appreciate the information. So, I'm not going to rehash that, because, like I said, there's other YouTubers out there that's got a lot better videos on it than I could make. And if everything that I've heard about it is right, those people have their ducks in a row probably to get it approved. So if it doesn't hear ham radio, it doesn't interfere with the bands, then I'm not going to kick up about it too much. I just don't want us to lose anything. Well, since we've talked about that, here's what I think we need to do to prepare for the next one. Because the only thing that bothers me about them getting it is sooner or later somebody else is going to say, well, hey, let's go up in the bands a little bit more, take some from these amateur radio operators. They don't need that. We can pay for that. And as this country is centered around money, I can see that attack happening again. So what can we do to prevent that? Guys, we're going to have to make ham radio more viable and promote it every chance we can. Welcome new people into the hobby. I'm in a bunch of different social media groups, and I see people posting almost daily that they're getting their license. Help these people. Be supportive of their decision to get into the hobby. Anything we can do to make this hobby grow, especially with younger people, we need it. We really need it. And we need to keep this hobby viable. through technology and anything else that we can do to keep us a good, viable service that people will fall back on if we have an emergency. Now, having said that, I've said all along that one of the biggest threats to ham radio is ham radio operators themselves. All right? And y'all may crucify me for saying this, but it's my opinion. Guys, we've got to stop trashing people for minor mistakes, whatever decision they make in a radio, what modes they like to operate on, and anything else. Now, back when 91, when I got in here, you had the same amount of sad hams that trashed you for anything. All right? But they only did it on the radio. So nobody was really keeping track of it. Social media being what it is today, and I think social media is sometimes is a bad thing, and here I am using social media to promote my own ham radio channel. But I see all kinds of just horrible remarks hams make to new hams, or hams talking about what mode they like to operate, most notably FT8, what radios they like to operate, and so on and so forth. Think about this. That's on a computer. That stuff don't just disappear. And if you've got a group wanting to compile a package that they want to present to the FCC in order to take part of our bands, what better thing could they do other than start recording, making copies of all this stuff that's said that ham radio operators say about other ham radio operators, and the arguments and things like that to go on with it. We've got to get away from that. You know, I don't tell people direct answers. If somebody asks me a very direct question like what radio to buy, I don't tell them what radio to buy. I don't know their budget. I don't know their skill level or anything like that. I make suggestions. Show them different suggestions. Don't tell somebody because they bought a cheaper radio than you, oh, that's a starter radio, you need to buy this, or then you'll be a real ham radio operator. Well, you don't do that, because all you've done, you don't know what kind of money they've spent to buy their first radio, and they may think, wow, this hobby's too expensive for me, I'm getting out of it. Or the venerable UV5R. I've seen more people get trashed because they get on there and say they've got a UV5R. We've got to quit doing that. Make good suggestions. Have your club needs to promote this. One thing, the club I'm in, 4 States Amateur Radio Club, does an excellent job of promoting radio. Looks like Shreveport Club does too. I've been down there a couple times. I'm fixing to attend their Ham Fest here next month. Dallas, I've had good interaction with Dallas and Cowtown Amateur Radio Clubs. Farmersville, had good interaction with them. Promote the hobby. Help a new guy out. But don't just dictate to them what they need to do. That ain't right. You don't know their budget, their situations, or anything. All right? We've got to keep this hobby viable and keep it growing and introducing new technologies into it. If it's an approved mode that the FCC says we can use amateur radio, don't trash somebody for it. Stop saying it's not real radio. Echolink, FT8, DMR, quit calling them non-real radio modes. If you don't want to do them, don't do them. Find a niche in this hobby that you like, but promote it to help people get into it and stay into it. You know, you take our 10-meter group, for instance. Everybody in there, Tim is higher than a tech, but Tim's a tech, so he's got full privileges 6 meters up. We don't have to meet on 10 meters to chit-chat. We're all local. We could get on 146.5 too and hold our get-together if just the 5 or 6 of us wanted to talk. We could pick a 6-meter frequency and get up there. for Tim to get on it. We're getting him on his general. The reason we meet in the tech portion of 10 is we're wanting other people to check in with us, especially new techs. And that promotes them and gets them to stay in the hobby and get to using more of the hobby. So if we're going to keep our service, hobby, whatever you want to call it, going, we've got to become better custodians of it. We've got to stop this infighting, trashing other operators, trashing other modes that somebody uses to do, somebody chooses to do, and so on and so forth. And that's the best thing we can do to keep this hobby alive and keep it going, or we're going to face further threats on our bands from big interests with money. So that's just my take on it. I may get hammered for this, but so be it. That's how I feel about it. Y'all remember Main Trading Company up there again? He may be having a scratch and dent sale coming soon, but y'all check him out. Got a lot of used gear, and pass some good words to them for their damage they've got up there. All right, we've got several slides on different Hamfests coming up. Shreveport's coming up in August. I'm planning to be there, and Mena in September. Guys, we hit 982 subs. We're getting closer to that 1,000. We'll do that 1,000 sub giveaway. This is KB5 MIQ Big Boy 73.